Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? Hashtag Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Musayome Sally, and today, NJ and Sanse. People are becoming irregular. How are you, ladies?
Duo.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, any new developments?
Hello. No, except that it's my birthday week. Actually, no. It's on Sunday, so Sunday is a new week. Abi, it's your birthday week. It's not my birthday week. My birthday week is the beginning of next week.
Oh, so wait.
All
So you're
November.
oh,
Yeah, you didn't know that.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
I'm Ibubu senior. I'm fourth. She's fifth. You are 11th.
Oi, I go.
I'm not 11, girl.
I'm busy 14.
Please, 13.
13. Oh, really? We have to announce it. You don't know where there's a Lamborghini parked with a ribbon waiting for you.
Please.
November.
Oh, I thought yours was 11th. Oh.
No, 13th.
Who is 11? Annie?
No, AK is 6th. Not even.
No, November, no.
6th.
Oh, 6th.
6th.
Who did I think was it? I thought
Maybe
it was
there's
you.
somebody.
No, I thought actually it was you that was 11. Okay, so you're 13th of November.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're starting from Friday. Abi Saturday.
It's
So it's going to be a party month.
No, but you and who? Everybody's asking me where's the party at. I just did.
Yeah. When
I
they
did
ask you, you say, yeah. You can plan it. I'll attend.
I did read and
I'll attend.
I even have a couple of, we have an event now, Abi,
I know.
on that day. And I
Yeah.
have another event in the morning
Yeah.
on that Saturday. 4th of November is quite busy for me.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go take up what do they call them, honorary doctorate, but I'm not in the mood. No, I'm not in the mood.
Why don't you go take it?
I'm not in the mood. It was going to be on my birthday. They sent a letter and all of that, but I don't think I'm all about that right now. But we are here.
Yes,
We're here. Angie, that story you just showed us.
Oh, well.
That's sad. What exactly happened?
It was just.
Was it in the middle of a tournament or it was practice?
No, they were playing a game. It was a
What?
match. But you know how
Ice hockey.
ice hockey, how the skates, the blade is actually quite sharp because of the the ice and everything, just so that they can move swiftly. So yeah, it was an accident. It was a tragic accident. They
So
collided.
how did it happen?
So they collided. Yeah.
Oh.
So in that collision,
But I don't
Something.
understand how that happened because the helmet is quite low. It has like the metal stuff that gets low.
yeah, but the helmet is like this. Yeah, so you still have your neckline, yeah.
So this
And even if you're wearing something, it's not blade,
I was
Thank
going to
you.
say
That's the
that
word.
now that this has happened, I think everybody that has like costuming, a costume business for ice hockey players, they will need to put that in consideration because it's quite
Yeah, it's
tragic.
probably, yes, it will be a good
I
consideration.
once entered the ice rink in London.
Yeah.
Omo. I told myself, Father, if I come out of this, I will never.
I'll
because
never do it again.
I will literally, you can't even control. You understand? I couldn't control. Meanwhile, my children were just gliding.
If you
Pia.
can stand for at least a minute.
You tried. Sounds like I couldn't run for 1 second. My legs were just wobbly. I was holding on to this is so because once you enter, you must go around the circle. I said, Father, please, let me just get to. Let me just.
So I
Immediately
can come
got-
out. So I can step out.
I jumped out and I removed. I never entered. So by the time we now went to Dubai, Dubai was a bigger one. The one in London is quite small, where
Yeah.
the London Eye is. We went to the one in Dubai was quite big. I saw my son in the middle.
Whoa.
They born ice because he's never done it, right? But he's quite flexible.
Yeah,
So
kids, they just jump at stuff.
and to think that ice skating was one of my best sports to watch. I watch a lot of this aerobics. I love it. I used to think that if I was abroad, maybe if I was born there, maybe that would have been my sport. Either that or Formula One. So this
I
is
like
really,
Formula
this is
One.
really tragic because now it means
Yeah, it
that
is.
for everyone designing their costuming, they must also put in consideration on some of these things to just
Yeah,
guard.
like a full kit, yeah,
so sad.
because really.
Because
for-
that blade is quite sharp. Sean even had an accident, cut his head and all of that.
Yeah, it's
near
quite
his
sharp.
eye. It's quite shocked.
So I'm not sure if it's his foot. I didn't. Well, I can't.
Where the blade cut?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's his foot or his.
So why
I
would
don't
he
know.
die? If it is foot, he's not supposed to die.
No, it's the blade. How? No, I'm
Oh,
not
okay,
sure
okay.
how. Like you have to slow down the video and literally
watch it,
zoom in
to
on
see how it
both
happened.
of them because like it just shows like the full screen of the players and the. Yeah, it was a fast shot, so you have to zoom in order to see
Wow, so sad.
how that happened.
Our
That's
heart
quite
goes out to the
unfortunate.
family. That's very unfortunate. All right, so today we want to discuss the issue around what's it called, Japa, Nigeria. Nigeria, and here's what we found as today's quote: "Young people aren't just leaving Nigeria because of bad pay and working conditions. They're leaving because there is no hope." And this was from Atiku Abubakar. All right, so earlier today, we got the news of the police detaining 12 illegal Nigerian immigrants over their refusal to leave the Republic of Kazakhstan in Central Asia. So today, Sanzi, Enji, and I will discuss the topic: why is illegal migration amongst Nigerians still an issue? But first, let's quickly go off on a break. When we come back, we'll see what we found in today's news. All right, you're still watching Waves. National Cinnamon Day is celebrated annually on November 1st. It is a day to celebrate the delicious and versatile spice that is cinnamon. Cinnamon is a spice made from the inner bark of several trees from the genus Cinnamonium. It is native to Southeast Asia and has been used as a spice for thousands of years. Cinnamon has a sweet, warm flavor and a unique aroma. It is used in a variety of cuisines around the world, both sweet and savory. Who is a fan of cinnamon here?
I am.
I love cinnamon as well. Cinnamon
I literally
rolls.
had a cinnamon roll yesterday.
Yeah, I was just going to say I do the cinnamon rolls, and again, I have incorporated cinnamon to my everyday supplement for the last 1 year. Because again, it's also what's it called? A weight management spice.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it does. It manages your weight, so you're not. Yeah, so a lot of people that want to go like the natural way to weight loss and all of that. Part of it is probably like boiling the sticks, the cinnamon sticks. You can add a bit of lemon, honey, some cloves, whatever it is. There are just so many
I've never done
formulas.
the sticks, but I think the only time I tasted it once and I liked it. So now I use the ones you get off the rack, like the powder ones, and I cook noodles with it.
Yeah, nice. So you see, it helps. You see, it helps absorb anything fat and all of that. But so I do that. I do with oats. I've never tried noodles. I'll try that.
Yeah,
I do with oats.
I've not done any of that.
In fact, it was Norma that taught me oats.
Really?
Yeah, because she would make the oats and she would put the cinnamon. It gave it a very nice flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gave it a very nice flavor. But I like the cinnamon rolls. So anybody that is struggling with weight and all of that, I think is a good recommendation. It helps to just keep your weight in check. Some people mix it with coffee, like dark coffee and all of that. But I'm not a coffee fan, but cinnamon is good. So
I'll
good to be celebrating
I'll
the day.
definitely try out some of this.
I'll try out the noodles one
Yeah,
because I haven't tried that. But I do with oats. I do with a lot of things. I even use it to cook my meals sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so who are we starting with? Angie, let me start with you. What's your news for today?
Oh well, Maje Kuti released his pre-wedding photos with him and his partner. 1 year after they got engaged. So they got engaged, I think, last year, and they tied the knot today.
Yeah.
And they released the pictures, and she's evil.
I never knew.
I know. So it's quite.
His full daughter.
Yes, she was his school daughter.
Oh, that's
School
such
father,
a
school
sweet
daughter.
story.
I'm telling you, very lovely love story. I was listening to it when I was on my way here.
Yeah.
She said that. So when did he switch from being a school father
to a father, to a lover? I know.
So he said it was 7 years later.
Oh wow.
After they had left school 7 years later. This time she was in the university, and he then he had just finished and he came back to Nigeria. COVID then happened. After COVID, it was like, after the lockdown, when they met, it was They just picked up from where, since there was already history with them, it was very easy.
It was very easy.
So then I asked him, what does he like best about her? I said, her smile. You know, that he can live with that smile for the rest of his life. I said, oh, wow. It is well.
Oh, sweet.
But that's so sweet. I never, see, what shocked me the most was the fact that she was Igbo. Because, you know, like so I didn't see her. I thought she was Yoruba or something. But when I saw her mother wear the Ichagu, and I said, she's full Igbo. She even did the palm wine carrying. She did. I said, wow, that's beautiful.
I would like to say that I feel like the Femi part of the family, they're a bit
liberal.
I don't know if the word I'll use would be liberal. I'm trying not to use any word that makes him look a different way. No, it's not like Fela is, but I feel like, yeah, you would want to keep certain traditions within the clan. Let me put it that way.
That's why I'm saying that I'm extremely
that's
shocked.
why,
you know why?
yeah. So for me, that's why I'm actually a bit, I'm not shocked, but I was like, okay.
You don't even get what I'm saying. The way she has incorporated the Afrobeat culture to her lifestyle. That's why I'm saying that I'm extremely shocked that she's not even, because I would have thought that, you know, she's part of the entire, you know, the culture for Afrobeat. See, she's completely.
I think it just goes to say that when someone is a fit for you, fit for
she really embraced.
Round hole, round peg.
I'm telling you. So I wish them a beautiful marriage and you know, a happy married life.
Yeah.
You know, I wish them all the best, because there's nothing like beautiful love. You know, the only prayer is that, you know, God just preserves the home. And I saw her mother-in-law.
Her in-law, her parents-in-law.
Yeah.
And I just have to like applaud Femi and
Funke Kuti, yeah.
Like their relationship, they've been divorced and stuff, but their relationship is just, it's beautiful. I mean, I wish that even though some parents are divorced and their marriage doesn't work out, but it would be nice if they maintained that friendship, you know.
I was just going to say that, you see, it's only immature people, because I've not seen any reason that if I have a child for you, I've not seen the reason that I would become very hostile, or you see all this fighting and all of that. There is absolutely nothing you're going to do to me, because what I can do is accommodate your nuances and keep a very cordial relationship, not because you are deserving of it, because definitely there would have been something that would have made me to say, I not do marriage again, but because we have children together. So it would be nice that people can take a cue from people like this, right? I might not be with you romantically anymore, but because there is a child in the matter, at some point, adults just need to drop all the nonsense, right? It's not about you at that point, it's about your child. So if it means that whatever anger, whatever you have, you are throwing it off the, what's it called, off the rack, just to make sure that that child is raised in a very loving and healthy manner. That is what is needed. So I wish a lot of people can take a cue from that, because I've seen some people, you are no longer with the person, you start fighting unnecessarily. It doesn't make any sense to me, honestly. So that was a fantastic observation. All right, I think we should talk about that one day. Yeah.
It would be nice. It's kind of a sensitive topic.
It is, right? Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
it just clicked. I just clicked it. But we'll still need to talk about it. Or you come on my podcast. We'll just talk about it.
Okay, sounds like,
because it would be nice to hear from the perspective of the child, right? And it also be nice to hear from the perspective of the person, the parties involved. Because again, sometimes if parents can like hear from the part of the child, this is how this affected me.
Maybe the others will learn and make better decisions.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
Okay, your story, Sanzi.
I don't feel like taking my story anymore.
Why?
It's pretty much the same old cliche, budgeting in Nigeria and stuff. Recently, they got the SUVs, 360 SUVs for the National Assembly and whatnot. So there is a supplementary 2.17 trillion naira, which is part of those funds is a budget of 5 billion naira for presidential yachts, and then 5.5 billion for student loan. And so I was reading a breakdown of, you know, the supplementary 2.717 trillion. So the federal government is to spend 6.9 billion on cars for First Lady's office and presidential villa. and also he's spending um, uh, 2.9 billion on utility vehicles and 28 billion on the state house. I think for me, what the major thing that stood out for me is the fact that, I mean, over and over again, we've talked about it, prioritizing or just being considerate of the state of the nation and just being careful about the expenses you're making. You cannot make all these humongous budgets for yachts. What do you need a yacht for? And then you're making 5.5 billion for student loan, and even higher than that for the first lady and renovation. Like,
so you see, when I saw that first
I
lady thing,
don't.
I just want to remind the president, you know, and the entire family, the first family, that part of what they promised was that, you know, you are wealthy. Everybody knows that you are wealthy. And so the promise was that, you know, you were not coming to office to spend Nigeria's money, right? You were coming to office to actually, what's the word now? Govern Nigerians and, you know, serve, right?
Renew hope.
Yeah. So, I mean, when we hear expenses like this, it kind of like begs the question, what exactly was the promise and those conversations about? Because, I mean, if you talk about cars and all of these things, these are things you already have. Like, do you get what I'm saying? I don't know how people do things, but every day I look at Nigeria, I keep on saying that if Nigeria were your business, like
how would you manage it?
You have it as your personal business that you are spending expenditures and all that, it's your money. You understand? Would you manage it the way it is being run now, or you would do things differently? Like literally, when we have that question at the back of our minds, it will just help a lot of things. You know, it will help a lot of things because it's just ridiculous. There are cars already. Do you understand? There are things already.
What is he using at the moment?
I don't know, my sister.
To be a vehicle.
That's what I'm saying. So it's okay for you to want to do like an upgrade or something. There should be by now there should have been a plan in place on how to reuse the old cars. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
Even if you cannot even reuse the old cars.
No, you
there should
can't
be a
reuse it
benchmark.
because
I've said
they're
this thing
using
several
it.
times. NJ, if you work in a corporate organization and you are probably the manager, there is a cap to the kind of car that will be allocated to you as the manager. So if they say your cap is 5 million and you say you want to drive a 50 million naira car, you go and bring 45 million naira and add it to the 5 million. Do you get what I'm saying? Like you cannot use what's it called, the company funds to buy that 50 million naira car. It's impossible. So that's why I'm saying that we just need to find some level of, I don't even know what to call it, but it is ridiculous. There's a lot of suffering, and I don't think these people understand how much suffering is out there. You understand? We are the ones that see the suffering. We see what people are going through. Every day you're passing by, somebody's begging you for money and all of that. Why can't you as a leader see the pain of people? It is very insensitive for us to be thinking of buying yachts, buying cars and all of those things, when there are so many more things that this money can go into that will bring a better, livelihood for the entire nation.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. The NLC president, there's been a lot of speculations that he was arrested. Yeah, he was arrested, but the police has come out to say that he wasn't arrested, that he was taken into protective custody, that they said that it is pertinent to state that the NLC president was in Owerri as part of the arrangement of the Congress to mobilize workers for a mega protest rally in the state. In the course of their planning, it was reported that suggestions arose for the lockdown of some essential facilities, particularly airports, which led to some workers and other individuals resisting the picketing process, leading to scuffles and heated arguments and an eventual attack on the person of the president by a mob. So upon receiving that report, the Imo Police Command swiftly deployed police operatives to the scene, where the officer in charge exercised his operational discretion by taking the NLC president into protective custody at the state command headquarters to ensure that the protection of his life and that he was not lynched in the scuffle that followed. So the commissioner of police thereafter directed that he should be taken to the police medical service, where he would be accorded medical attention as a result of the attack. He has therefore been accorded adequate security cover to proceed to his other legitimate engagements for the day. So they said there was no such thing as an arrest because I saw it flying all over social media that he was arrested. Well, let him also come out to come and say what transpired. It would be nice to also hear from the horse's mouth, not from the police command. So we'll take a break now. Let's discuss illegal migration in Nigeria. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, thanks for staying with us now. According to a report by Kaztag, a news agency in Republic of Kazakhstan, 14 illegal migrants from Nigeria lived in one of the hostels in Almaty, and investigations showed that their periods of stay on the territory of Kazakhstan had expired. The country is currently taking measures to identify host individuals and legal entities to take appropriate measures. Now, according to the head of the Migration Service Department of Almaty Police Department, illegal migration, a complex issue in Nigeria caused by a variety of issues ranging from economic, political, social, and environmental factors, and it can have negative consequences for both individuals and society as a whole. So today, we're asking, why is illegal migration amongst Nigerians still an issue? Please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join this conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. I mean, I don't think any of us on this table has somebody that is not living abroad or does not have any, you know, like, yeah, you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So
But
every
all of them are legally migrated.
so I was just coming. I was just coming there.
Yeah.
So every time these conversations come out to the open, I keep wondering what exactly would be the reason. Because you see, several times, I've said it several times, that you travel to the US and say, why are you going back to Nigeria? You know, you hear all those people tell you those kind of stuff. Why do you want to go back? You know, sometimes some people have migrated illegally just based on those kind of suggestions. You can stay here, you can do this, and, you know, and they eventually stay. And of course, they know that it is not, you know, it's not as easy as the people painted it. But the truth is, the question is, why do we have illegal migrations, you know? And I think all of us here, we have people that are living abroad, and virtually all of them, right? In fact, all of them, not even virtually, all of them moved legally to the US and some to other parts of the world, right? And they're doing well. So is it a case of, first of all, resources, that maybe people do not have the right resources to be able to channel the what's it called, the legal routes to some of these migration processes? Or is this the case of lack of information? Or is it that these people just feel like, you know what, there's the mindset thing that I just have to do it illegally? What exactly do you think the factors would be? Who is going to come first? NJ?
I would say we'll take it factor after factor. So the first one would be economic challenges. We don't have enough opportunities in Nigeria, and there's high unemployment rate. The pay is low, the income is low, the dollar rate is changing every day, so it's affecting that also. It's affecting the price of goods and services. So generally, with the amount, what you're making as a salary is not enough to fund even just the basic lifestyle.
Okay, so NJ, so that, what you've just painted now is why people would want to leave Nigeria.
Yeah.
So the question is, why would they want to leave illegally?
Because of that, due to that. No, if I do not have money to even live here, How
So
am
that's what I
I
was saying, that is it a financial thing?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting to. So if I do not even have money to survive here, definitely I do not have enough to survive over there. So the only way for me, and I don't want to be here because I have, Nigerians see it as you have less opportunities here. But if you go out there, you have a slightly better chance of surviving. So I'd rather go there, and I don't have the money to afford it. So the only way to go is illegally. Do you understand what I'm saying? So because you can't afford it here. You can't afford the life here. You can't afford it there. But someone tells you, okay, with one of maybe your salary for 1 month, I can sneak you in through the back. You will pay for that.
Sanzi, do you agree?
I mean, I think it's desperation and also extreme desperation, such that you're at a place where you're thinking get rich or die trying. And like NJ said, you probably may have heard the success stories of people who went there. Maybe people you know. For instance, I have people who have gone there, right? And I'm in a position where I'm tempted by their success stories. I want to go there, but my reality in Nigeria is not telling me the truth. And so I'm thinking, I'm not saying I will, I'm just using myself as an example, please. And I'm thinking, what else am I going to do? Now, someone comes up with an option and says, okay, how about you take a bus to Mali, and then from Mali you do this and you do that and you do that. And at the end of the day, legal migration might take you maybe 40, 50 million naira. But if you go through this route, it's only going to take you 750,000 naira. If you're desperate enough for it, it's only natural that you only take the 750,000 naira route.
To some extent. So what I hear you say is that the reason I would want to leave this country illegally might be because I feel like, financially I cannot afford a legal path.
That's one of it.
Understand? That's
one of it.
Mm-hmm. But you see, is it that is the real issue, or is the ignorance? You know why I say this? Because now I've had so many people leave this country legally, right? And I feel like the problem with illegal migration is more of a knowledge problem, right? A lot of people do not know. They do not know that these countries that they are going to, a lot of these countries have opened up, what's it called? I mean, there are some people, it is actually even next to nothing you pay. Do you get what I'm saying? They give you free. I mean, I've seen so many stories of people that say, oh, come to my country, I'll give you housing allowance. I will even give you whatever allowance just to come and, because those countries are countries that have like a population problem. They have older people in their countries, and they're looking to find younger people to come and populate the place and all of that, so that they can get a good young workforce. So this illegal migration itself, so the factor of our economic realities, right, is why people want to leave Nigeria. But why people would want to leave illegally, I don't think it's an economical problem.
Now, so here is the other angle. Yes, some of these countries, some of them will even say skilled workers and, whatnot. But then the thing is, the qualification too. Like there is this new one on STEM that the US is doing, that is the diversity in workforce, or something that the US and a couple of other countries are also doing, right? And so some people are aware of this, but the qualification, I don't fit the like STEM now. I don't know anything science except I have to go back to school. So if I want to migrate using that, if I'm knowledgeable about that, no matter how much I know about it, I am not qualified for it. And so if they say there is diversity in the workplace, maybe they want to have more of, maybe people, they don't have enough of people from Africa, and on the list, which they've actually done, they've said, Nigeria, you're not on the list. We want people that have very minor representation in the US. Nigeria has a lot of representation in the US. So automatically, Nigeria is off the list. Again, disqualified, And so when you're going through all of this list, and I think there is also the education route. If you want to go through education route, some of them will say, okay, if you're coming through education, this is the fee that you're going to have to pay. You don't have it. Or you're going to have to study this so that you can either end up being an African teacher or lecturer in African studies while you're studying. You're not qualified for it. Do you understand? So it's not just, there's a lot of information out there, but you also have to look at it through qualification. That's one. Another thing is also processing times.
Like, I have spoken, I'm not going to call out the person, but I know someone who had to migrate illegally because the spouse is there. The person don't wait 7 years, they're still processing paper. What is going on? Do you understand? And so when you're taking that much processing times, families want to be reunited, spouses want to be reunited. So when it's taking you, ideally your green card or the green card invitation should be processed within, I think, 3 years or 3 to 5 years. This is 7 years and counting. It hasn't worked. And eventually, God, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm just telling someone's story. And eventually the door is opened. She finally gets a visit visa through, anyway. So now when she migrates, obviously she's obviously not going to stay back there. She's obviously not going to come back. She's going to stay there and continue that green card processing inside that place, you know. And then the same thing with what the US is currently going through, the Mexican border and all whatnot. Last year was 2.2 million people that migrated. Right now they're getting to 2.5, you know. And some of these people will tell you that they waited on the US authority. I mean, we're talking Nigeria, but I'm just citing US and their migration, Biden's migration problem as an issue. They'll tell you that, see, we waited though. I have kids there that was taken away from me during Trump's administration. They've not processed everything. I need to see my children. So by hell or high water, I have to get through.
Okay, so I get the idea of the processing time, which was a major issue again, because again, if you even look at it, right, COVID even worsened a lot of things. If you check a lot of embassies, they were bombarded because they had a backlog of things. But again, I'm saying to you that some of these things have been eased off, right? So I feel like when it comes to issues around migration, I am from Edo State, Benin City.
Now get them.
You know when I say the Baba of the Babas, of the illegal migrants, a full Edo State, Benin City. So it is something that it is like somewhat embedded in us. If not for now that technology has changed and advanced, where people are you can no longer, because I know people that had to use somebody else, I'll come and use your passport to travel. Do you understand? So now because of biometrics, because of fingerprints and all the technology has come into, you know, the what's it called, the borders, right? It is difficult for us to do some of the things that we heard our uncles, our aunties, and our parents, you know, what they did, right? But you see, when it comes to illegal migration, I feel like there is a huge chunk of mindset that is troubling a lot of people. Because you see, some of these things that you've talked about, right? Yes, validity in processing time, it might take a while, right? But the truth is, right, if you understand the consequences of going illegally, right, you would rather have that wait. You know, my sister is currently, she's a French citizen now, but she had to move to the US to go study and do some other things, right? Thank God for the kind of family that we come from, right? Because if not for the kind of family that I mean, the kind of people that we are, there were just too many things filtering in our ear. You can do this, you can do that, you can do that. I said, no. Do you understand? So it was a case of we have to put our foot on ground. Whatever needs to be done legally for me to be able to get a, what's it called, a work permit and all of that is what I would, and she's gotten it already. Do you understand? It didn't take so much time. So I get you, right? That some of these things, it is because of but I feel like, again, if you surround yourself around people that only think if they want to do anything, because I know some people that if they want to do anything, by default, they always go illegal through yes, it is the illegal one they want to think of. Yes. So if you surround yourself around those kind of people, there is every chance that you too, you will find yourself trying to leave the country illegally. When you talk about jobs, you talk about work, you talk about all of these things, school and all of that, there are courses that you can get fully funded scholarship. You see, it is the work that we do not want to put in. There are fully funded scholarships. There are fully, fully sponsored jobs. You know, so when you talk about qualifications around STEM, must you go to the US? Do you understand? There are other countries that are opening their borders to Nigerians. There are other countries that can also be that you can also survive. So it is the mindset again. If this country is not favorable to you, have you checked other countries? For me, I feel like it is that inability for us to even take that time to just do small research. We don't want to go and study. We don't want to go and learn. Because even this qualification you're talking about, people are looking for drivers in Canada. Do you understand? They are looking for farmers. Do you need qualification to be a farmer? Do you need qualification to be a driver?
You have to be a
No.
driver to be.
You don't. You don't get what I'm. That's what I'm trying to tell you that for every skill gap, right, that they have, they are looking for those workers, and the skilled workers sometimes is not necessarily that you must be educated.
Listen, I like to go down to the person selling peanuts on the street.
And that person selling peanuts can have a skill.
That's what I'm
that
telling
can be
you.
useful.
Hang on, hold on. They have a
Not as
skill.
easy.
That's what I'm trying to let you understand. It's not as easy as that. The person selling peanuts, the person that is a fantastic farmer, right? Have you ever gotten in contact with immigration people or people who work out all day? Because it's not you that will go and do it. Because the person, you have the skill, but you don't have the language, and communication is an issue. Let's not forget, right? So you have to write your IELTS, or depending on wherever you're going to. Most times they don't even understand these things. So there is the middleman who helps in communication. Ask that middleman how much they are collecting to do all that. At the end of the day, that farmer, you see that just go back to your farm, because you can't afford their fees.
Let's take a break.
We'll be right back.
She said it.
Hey, what's up, guys? You're welcome to another edition of Plus Event, and I remain your host, Ifeoluwa Oshukeye. Your absence isn't an excuse anymore, as Plus Events is all you need, as we bring you the glitz, the glamour, and loads of fun.
Oh, definitely. By no question. He's a living legend.
Oh, God forbid, Holy Ghost fire, no.
Okay, they are shouting inside the studio, two of them. They said I'm far from reality. So if you just tune in, we're discussing the topic, why is illegal migration amongst Nigerians still an issue? Now let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. I wish we could take calls today, but we can't take calls. Please send in your messages and your WhatsApp. Just send the message to us. We'll read them. So I get you, NG. NG was, by the way, she was attacking me behind the scene, that I am far from reality. But why would you say that? Because I don't know. See, let me tell you something, right? I feel like, yes, I get it a lot of times, but I also know people that even in that very poor state, they will never think of illegal migration.
Yes.
Do you get what I'm saying?
There are some people that have their principles and
Values,
they stand by their values,
convictions,
and they stand by it. They would work an honest job in order to make an honest living to get to where they want to be. But we have to come to the realization that our reality is that Nigerians have lost that part a long time ago. So asking and keep reiterating it is not going to change the reality of it. Do you understand? If we want to know why, these are the issues. There are issues bordered. There are issues on ground. Is it the insecurity, or is it the political crisis that is happening every time where you don't know what, dangling like pendulums and you don't even know where you're heading to? Or is it the education? Which one is it? And we're talking about people who can't afford a 9 to 5 a meal, like a full 3 square meal, but they are ready to sell their kidney in order to go abroad. Trust me, it has to be that bad for people to want to do that.
Because nobody wants to risk their life.
I eat once a day.
But you can afford 3
Based on the fact that you want to lose weight.
You don't get it.
You want to lose weight, that's why.
I'm trying so hard to understand, because you see, my mind cannot process illegal migration. I'm sorry.
Which is understandable, but it doesn't stop it.
But you know why I'm saying this? I said if I was born in Benin City, right? I need you to help me follow this picture I'm trying to paint.
Okay.
If I was born in Benin City, I think this is part of the reason my father decided that he will give birth to all of us in Kaduna State. He migrated to Kaduna many years ago before he started having his children. Because for him, the mindset was that around Benin, you understand, is Italo transactions. You understand? Young girls who just grow up and say they want to go and do prostitution in Italy. That was what was really the rave of the moment whilst we were being born. Do you get what I'm saying? So I feel like if I was raised in that kind of setting, right, I would probably not see anything wrong with illegal migration, right? So I'm saying to you that for me, I feel like young people now, right? It is probably what they've been exposed to. Because no matter how much I mean, no matter how much you say you want to flag anything juicy in my face, even if I see the results, that as long as I cannot see that the document that you left Nigeria with was what's called legally authorized for you to leave, I don't see how I want to go into another country and now be a fugitive or you understand, or be running away from the law. That's my point. So I get it. I am far from the reality, and I'm saying to you that reality is also as a result of where my mind is at. So why I'm saying that is that why don't we find a way to elevate the mindset of Nigerians? Do you get what I'm saying? I get it. We have economic challenges. The country, the political challenges and the troubles and all of that is part of why I want to run away from my country. But in the end, right, you also don't want to find yourself abroad with nothing. Because it is even 10 times worse. So look at these people now that they were caught. They still want to, they don't even, with all the things that is going on there, they still do not want to leave. What is happening in Kazakhstan?
Something has to be happening that is not happening here.
Oh, I remember what I said, that people are,
I don't know, I'm trying to understand.
people are, there is like this deterioration in the Nigerian society, that people have gotten to that place where, and I'm not saying it like we should clap for ourselves, I'm saying it with a lot of pain in my heart and embarrassment that my country has gotten to this level where people are desperate. It's either get rich or die trying. You know, that's just a sad reality where we
There
find
has
ourselves.
to be some, like she said, there has to be something happening there. And why I would say there has to be something happening there, I'll give you an example. So, if irrespective of how illegal you are in any country, most countries, there would be some provision that the government will make for you eventually. If they can't
Social
send you,
service
if they
or
can't
something.
send you back to your country, there's the refugee. There's something. They always have one plan. We don't have that plan, no. The only time we have that plan is when they sit in parliament and then they approve budgets for palliative, or there's some
Palliative that we never see.
we're not even discussing that, but it's either that or when there's war in a close by country and we decide, okay, we're going to give this, we're going to build innocent. That's when we remember Innocent Motors. We now tell them that they should build cars, let's send to them because that one is cheaper. So it's only in situations like that that you see in Nigeria. So where is that opportunity for people here? Why do you think people don't migrate to Nigeria? The only people that migrate to Nigeria are people that are coming to come and collect money from Nigerians. They are coming to come and open businesses here.
They're collecting
Foreigners,
a lot.
And they collect it and they go back, they move it back to their country. So we don't have that provision here. And that is the reason why a common person, a common individual will say, I'd rather die there. Because even the burial, they will bury me better. I'm sorry, but it's the truth.
This is so
They will bury-
embarrassing, my
They will bury me
goodness.
better there than they will bury me here. Then they will even put rows. In Nigeria, everybody will come and stand like this. When they are done, that's it. Though. They'll go and eat rice. Everybody will move on. So it's we talk about humanity and things
It's the
like
value
that.
for human life.
That's the thing. We have that. It has eroded a long time ago. So I understand the need for us to keep talking about it so that there's that awareness and everything. But we also have to consider what if we're going to go by what we're going for. These are the reasons, and they are valid reasons. I'm not supporting illegal migration, but they are valid reasons. Because it's not just the poor man. If you say it's the poor man and it's an information situation, a kind of thing, it's not just the poor man that is doing it. I have friends who have migrated
With visitors visa.
Let's just go. And
When
then
we
they
get
never
there.
came back. And from there, some of them have become citizens today. Some of them are still fighting that battle and hiding under a rock because if they find you, you're on your way back here with no plans of return. So it's the situation now on ground. And we have to talk about it not just from the human, there's the human angle, but that human angle is God that will help us because it will take us a long time. And for us to even get to that point, we have to start even believing in it. And for us to believe in it, we have to see it. And for us to see it, our current government has to do something so that it gives us hope that we want to still remain in this country. If not, you are about to see another massive shipload.
Migration,
If people can
exodus.
live in containers, they will. For an individual to say, I rather die there, because even the burial, they will bury me better than they will bury me here. Then they will even put rows. In Nigeria, everybody will come and stand like this. When they are done, that's it. Though. They will even put rows. So it's the situation now on ground. And we have to talk about it not just from the human, there's the human angle, but that human angle is God that will help us because it will take us a long time. And for us to even get to that point, we have to start even believing in it. And for us to see it, our current government has to do something so that it gives us hope that we want to still remain in this country. If not, you are about to see another massive shipload. an individual. You are here, you are surviving. Even if you beg on the streets, you will make some money. Somebody will be nice to you so that you can eat for the day. And someone decides, I will pack a backpack. All my things, I will put it in one bag. And I will go in the desert where there's no water and there's no food. And I'm going to spend every dime I have just to go to another country. Trust me, whatever they are running from, they are not thinking about what they are thinking about where they are heading to. And they rather face that than stay where they are and die.
Or die trying.
Yeah.
That is it. Get rich or die trying. And another angle of it is that while you're suffering and you don't have food here and you're thinking of how you're going to survive, you hear news like this.
That they are buying
That they're buying on what water? On what waterways? On what waterways? You are buying cars. On what roadways? What good road have you created? What good road have you completed? That you are driving this car so that the next 4 years, another person will come and tell us that those cars are bad. So that let's get another one. Each of these cars are costing how much? These things are in billions. So when you think about it, it's not our humanity. That has been far, like when you watch the news every day, it erodes on a even on social media. Sometimes you just don't go, I try not to watch things like CNN anymore because the only time you hear about Nigeria is just say something has happened in Nigeria. It's always bad news. Because when you watch some of these things, it angers me.
It does.
It irritates you, and you're not sure. In other countries, when there's an issue, a parliament member will say things like, this is how you know somebody has humanity. On behalf of myself and my seat, I'm giving up my salary this year, this month. I'm going to work almost like I'm going to work for free. And I'm going to I'm going to focus it on maybe there has been one major issue within the country. So as my own personal contribution, this is what I'm going to contribute, my salary or a tenth of my salary, because you know how much it is. So you've calculated what a tenth would be like. So a tenth of my salary or a quarter of my salary, I'm going to dedicate to this. That is what humans do. That's what reasonable people do. That's what service people do. They try and make it in such a way that everyone is happy at the end of the day. Or at least you don't feel left out. We don't get that in Nigeria. Nigeria, what we get is the crumbs.
So how do we solve this problem? Because whether we like it or not, like you rightly said, the reasons people would want to leave Nigeria illegally is very valid. But that does not justify
that doesn't make it right.
No, it doesn't make it
Yeah.
right. So how do we solve this problem? Because I know that there are so many countries right now that are looking for Nigerians. Like literally all you need to do is go online. You will see so many people telling you that come to my country. I saw one small country, I think in Italy or something, they are looking for young people because they have an old population and all of that. Like there are people that are looking to have people. So my point is, I get it that the economy is tough. I get it that a lot of these things are happening. But let's just take a second or two to pause and do small research. Because bad as bad, let me tell you something. Even those illegal paths that you take is not cheap. No. You will still need to spend money. So in the end, let's not be penny wise, pound foolish. Do you get what I'm saying? Let's find out, because it might just be that there's just an information that you need that will just save you from the stress or the hassle of going through an illegal means, right? Because you see, when things are done legally, it helps you to even help the people that you are, because some people will tell you, I'm leaving not because of me, I'm leaving because of my siblings, I'm leaving because of my parents. You want to help them, you want to go and get yourself better jobs so that when you come back, you can help them. So that's the more reason you should actually think first, think through and find a legal means to this migration. I get it. Yeah. Poverty is everywhere. Do you understand? It's not like it is rosy out or rosier elsewhere. The only thing that is working in some of these places that we want to run to is that you can plan. You can say, okay, you know what? If I get a job that gives me X, Y, Z, I can plan my income around this. There's a structure around, a way that you can, once you have a steady income, there's a path that you can plan. Say, in the next 5 years, if I continue to earn this amount of money, if I can add one more or two more jobs, I can become this person. But that is the uncertainty that we have here in Nigeria. There is no clear, structure or plan.
And, sorry, I have to cut you.
Another solution to this illegal migration is, I think there's a lot, because the middlemen there, the people who understand the laws and the rules and how to do the applications,
They are necessary. We are not going to rule them out, right? But I'm just going to plead to them that if they can just be human, because people are cashing out with these things. If you want to apply for a work visa, I think it's maybe, I don't know, maybe US or UK, I don't know, 400 and something, $50 or so. That's the ideal, of a work visa. But if you go to a middleman to help you work that at $450 based on the current exchange rate is not up to 1 million naira. But if you go to them to help you with this, you'll be hearing 5 million. You'll be hearing 6 million, And at the end, it just completely discourages people. And you know that if you use your hand to write whatsoever, maybe you've done your application at the office and whatnot, if you use your hand to write it, chances of you understanding how it works, you have to be like extremely intelligent, or I don't know.
I
But
think there's a huge business opportunity here for anybody that cares to listen. Maybe we need to plead with the people that understand these processes of migration, right? Why don't you set up a proper company that can help these people, at probably reduced fees.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
The government help?
No, government cannot help you migrate now.
No, you don't understand. The same way people come in, if you open your doors to go out, for people to go out, your doors will be open for people to come in also. So why not enhance the legal migration channels that we have? Do you understand? Make it legal. Advertise it. The fact that you advertise it does not mean everybody is going to run away. But the reason why they are not advertising it is because they know that people really want to go.
Yeah.
And then we have
government cannot be party, but the government cannot be party to say, do you want to live in the UK? The government will not do that. So what I think the government should do,
at
just to help you, make living conditions more conducive, so that we have don't roll your eyes at me. If you make living conditions conducive, a lot of people would want to stay back in their countries, right? Jobs, for instance, right? When you see all these doctors, nurses running away, it's because they've seen the cost. If I'm earning XYZ, you understand, I can never earn that kind of amount if I stay back in Nigeria. So why don't you see, as a government, find a way to make this instead of this your 360 cars that you're buying at 160 million, or be 140 million. Some figures say 140, some say 160 million. Whatever the case is, why don't we think about increasing the pay grade, right, for skilled workers, for government workers. So when you increase their pay, nobody will be thinking too far, because again, living conditions will be better for people.
Yeah.
So it is the and this is the insensitivity that I say when I see some of these arguments around buying a yacht or buying a car or whatever it is, refurbishing a house, for ridiculous amount of money. There's one angle that you are going to buy that car. There's another angle that price is also an inflated price.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? If sometimes you even hear that, okay, somebody wants to renovate a place and they even put the regular cost, it is even a different thing. But as far as it's a government contract, everybody just believes that when it comes to government, it's like 50 times the amount of the cost of the money. 50 times, not 50%, 50 times the cost of the money. You understand? So it makes no sense. It is the height of insensitivity. If we're talking about patriotism, we're talking about, love for country, we're talking about value for human life. This is the time. It is not in when we have abundance that we need empathetic leaders. It is in this scarcity that we need empathetic leaders. So if we have empathetic leaders, we are talking about migration, it will no longer be a thing of, you know what, let me just go. But it is not, now it is a thing of, my life depends on this, which shouldn't be the case. Do you understand? Because a lot of people that I see that they want to leave the country is that their life depends on it. It's very, very few people that are able to leave the country just, because, I need to, I need to just go and get a better life. A lot of people, it is because they looked at the trajectory. If I continue like this, I'm going to go bankrupt. Yeah. And it's a very sad reality.
And we only live once, and time is running.
Yeah. Well, I would say that some of the advice to government would be to maybe up on border control, because our borders are porous, quite porous to an extent. So up on border control, create necessary awareness where necessary, and improve lives of people. If
government,
people have better lives,
government,
like
if you
want to leave.
Government, if you want, hear it. If you want, don't hear it. Everybody will not be as loyal as Sandra is. except you want to end up with a country where nobody is there. Please do the right thing.
I rest my case. Because this argument, I'm not going to win it. No. But honestly, I just pray that people see differently. I don't know. Government will have their own headache, right? But I'm just thinking, for me, it's your safety. What if you lose your life in the process? People say, I'd rather die. Okay. Well, thank you so much, ladies. I think we had a conversation that was worth the time. Before we go, I'm sure you follow us across all our social media handles. Listen to our podcast on Spotify. It's at Way Show Africa. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and most importantly, follow all our engagements. Like, share, and invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. Now, if you missed our quote for today by Atiku Abubakar that lives in Dubai, I just had to add that. It says, young Nigerians aren't just leaving Nigeria because of bad pay and working conditions. They are leaving because there is no hope. See you tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen.
To conclude the career development series, we'll be discussing how to navigate office politics, because this is a very important, not always addressed element of thriving at work. And with me to discuss this is Enitan Ibironke, founder and executive director of the Legend Life Skills Foundation. Enitan is a seasoned soft skills trainer, certified etiquette coach, and trained journalist. With a law degree from LASU and a master's in international law and diplomacy from the University of Lagos. She is an active member of the Humanistic Management Network at the Christopher Collody Center for Leadership and Ethics at the Lagos Business School, Pan-Atlantic University. Welcome, Eniton.
Thank you.
I'm really quite excited to have you here with me today.
I am excited.
Yeah, and I was saying in the dressing room that office politics isn't something I hear people talking about professionally or even in this type of forum. You talk about it, in bits and pieces, but yeah.
True, that's very true. And it was interesting when you said it. I had to cast my mind and say, okay, have I really heard it being discussed properly in formal settings? And you were right. It's something that you generally hear about when you're having your mentor-mentee discussions or smaller, closed group discussions.
Exactly.
So it's interesting
and
that you're doing
usually as
this.
a result of somebody venting.
And that venting always happens.
Yeah.
Because when we're talking about this, I remember I slightly started venting and I went, catch yourself,
we all do it.